Welcome to Trucking TV and part 1 of Driver's Day Series 6, but this time it's a driver's night with Michael Scott of Lantern Recovery Specialists based at South Mims on the M25. As usual, we're here as the engine starts and we have no idea how the night will go. It's around 4 p.m. and Michael's just been handed his first job, extricating a stack wagon from a farmer's field. It's promising to be a mucky start to the night. But as we set off, it's time to learn a bit about the man behind the wheel and his career to date.
Michael Scott, age 24. You're kind of one of the youngest guys in this business, aren't you?
Many people call me the baby.
They call you the baby?
They might as well do. Every time I have a shave and a haircut, I look about 4 years old apparently.
How long have you been doing this, Michael?
I started when I was 19.
Yeah.
I went out with a good friend of mine 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So I used to drive for a firm called Midwest Logistics. Because I started at 16 as a mechanic at Scania.
Right.
Got my diplomas and everything. Then I just got a bit bored of being stuck in a workshop and there was no place on a service van, so I left there. I went to a few other garages and just didn't really settle in. My father had his own business, so the trucks has always been something to me when I was little, very small.
Yeah.
My mum and dad will turn around and say to everyone that where everyone else was playing with Action Man, I was playing with lorries. So it's always something I've wanted to get into. So after I passed my class 2, went to drive for Midwest Logistics for 9 months to a year. And while I was driving for Bidvest, a friend of mine was doing the recovery.
Yeah.
So he was showing me the ropes.
Uh-huh.
And it was a sort of happy accident, because I just thought, I'll go out and see what it's like.
Right.
Because obviously when vehicles get towed in, it just always drawed me. I sort of go over and give them a hand, put the shaft back in. And it sort of went from there, and I said, let's go out for the day, let's see what it's all about and that. And I've just been hooked ever since. The recovery is a job that you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
I've tried going back into haulage and I lasted all of 6 months, if that.
Right.
And I was straight back on the phone, can I come back please? And I just honestly would not have it any other way. Today you could be doing winch outs, you could be doing 7.5 tonners all day long, the next day you could do a rollover, or you could get nothing but Arctics all day. The next minute you're doing a local in London, and the next minute you're going out to Liverpool. I'll never do anything but recovery now.
It's just a variety, isn't it? I guess.
It is. And some of the people that you meet can be a good laugh. And some of the people that you can meet, they're just so miserable from breaking down, which you can understand.
Yeah.
You try and have a laugh with them and they just think you're the biggest idiot in the world. I do the night shift from 4 in the afternoon till 4 in the morning. Anything before or after that is on overtime, which is totally at my discretion, which I either do or don't. But I've had some nights where I can sit at home for 12 hours and I haven't turned a wheel.
Right.
There's not many people can say that they get to work from home and get paid if they don't do anything. I just do Monday to Friday, and I'll do a weekend because what the other drivers do, they'll do Monday to Friday and they'll do 1 weekend in 3.
Right.
But if one of those wanted a weekend off, then I'll cover. All on overtime, so it's double bubble. He gets the weekend off and I earn more money. I've had relationships break down because of this job.
Right.
For some reason women just cannot get it into their heads that you can't tell them when you're going to be home.
No.
You can't tell them when you're going to be home for dinner.
Or
if.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had days where I've not even gone home for 2 or 3 days. Just work and sleep in the truck. I haven't done that for a little while, thank God, but when I was on 24-hour call out, it's what it was. It was no, I'm tired, it's go out and do it. It's your job, you've got to go out.
Yeah.
You're a rescue service. The amount of drivers that come in the cab and they go, do you run a taco? Well, no. If you break down in a live, like I can't say I'll see you in 11 hours once I've had my break.
Sure.
Lanterns is quite fortunate because they've got such a big fleet. They've got a number of drivers doing different divisions. I mean, we've got about 10 people on the heavies. We've got God knows how many people on slide bed service vans. So they can sort of alternate who's on call first and then second, and sort of so they can give that driver that was on the night before a rest. and work it that way.
So they tend to look after their drivers, it sounds
They
like.
do, and they pay well. I've never been so well paid in a job. When I was at school, I really didn't give a damn for school.
Yeah.
From primary school all the way through secondary school, all the way through college, I always knew what I wanted to do. And a lot of the teachers said, no one will ever pay you for looking out of a window, and they just thought I'd end up stacking shelves.
Right.
How wrong they were. I bumped into someone I used to go to school with,
Right.
who was in my form, and she said, I'd just moved into my house.
Yeah.
She'd just moved in with her boyfriend. She said, I've just moved in. Oh, so have I. I've just bought this place over Harlow. She said, I bought this place in so wherever it was,
Yeah.
but I can only buy part ownership of it. I said, no. I said, I'm buying my house outright. And you get talking and that, and like, bearing in mind, I did the college diplomas for the
Sure.
apprenticeship,
Yeah.
and I didn't leave school with the best GCSEs in the world. Like I said, I didn't care for school. I was more interested in sort of getting my hands dirty.
Yeah.
And some of the people, I mean, as you probably well know, that they go to get all these fancy diplomas and qualifications, get a massive student loan, paying it back for the rest of their life, and some of them stacking shelves in Tesco's.
Working for McDonald's.
Exactly, work for McDonald's. I mean, this girl, in instance, she works for a charity, and she said she was scraping about 15, 16 grand a year. Now, bearing in mind, she worked a lot harder than I did at school, and I'm on a lot more money than her. So, sort of, my mum said to me the other day, if you enjoy the job you do, it doesn't matter what you're paid. It just so happens I love the job I'm doing, and I'm getting good money for it. I mean, I'm 24, well, I was 23 at the time. I bought a house, got a car all bought and paid for. I could never put in the work how much I love doing recovery, to be honest with you.
In part 2, you'll find Michael reversing this 25-tonne wrecker for about a mile up a narrow, dead-end country lane to find that stuck truck. And then he'll be getting that nice clean kit covered in muck and dirt as he works away to winch it out of the field. See you soon.